Hello, this is James Hunter, and this is my channel, My Two Cents, where I talk about health and fitness, wellness, and different type of topics. And the last time I made a video, I was wearing a muscle shirt, black stringer muscle shirt, because the weather was actually pretty much warmer than it is today. Today is sweater weather, as it's 40 degrees outside, and that's South Texas for you, because Texas does its own thing when it comes to weather. So I'm going to talk about in this video essentially, imparting kind of like a culture of fear, scare tactics, and different methods that are used on people like you, all walks of life, when someone is trying to sell you something, and creating a sense of urgency to get you, to pressure you into making a decision that's based on fear, and using methods or tactics that are not rational, that are misleading, or in all actuality just simply not true. So we do need to make decisions sometimes on important matters, but approaching it from a practical standpoint is always better when you make a decision. And people who market and sell something to you, they understand very well the power of emotion, the power of anxiety, the power of fear, and how that's going to motivate you to make a quicker decision. And keep in mind that when you make decisions in the I guess the heat of the moment, or within an emotion that you're having, like anxiety and fear, you're not going to always make the best decision, because you're not thinking with the rational mind when you make decisions out of fear. So I want to give a quick example of a recent situation with myself. I work in the mental health and substance abuse rehabilitation field. I'm also a personal trainer. And so in one of my jobs, the employer had set up for a representative with a life insurance and medical insurance type of a broker agency to come speak to us, the employees who work for the agency I work out of. It's an outpatient treatment center. So they came to speak to us essentially about life insurance, medical insurance, and so on. Now, these topics that they're coming to speak to us about are important. A lot of practical reasons to have life insurance, a lot of practical reasons to have medical health care, and so on. So the thing is that everybody has individual needs, and you're going to do what's the best for your individual situation. But that's not necessarily how they approach it. You have a group of people there, and so the individual there knows very well that they're there for a reason. Yes, they're offering a product, life insurance, medical insurance. However, make no mistake, they're there to sell you something. That's how they get paid. That's how they make their money. So there is a bit of a conflict of interest. So this one individual was speaking to the group of people I was there with, and one of the things that she said was, you're not getting any younger or healthier. So think about that for a minute. You are not getting any younger or healthier. And she said this as part of her trying to close the deal, to get people to act upon, make a decision, purchase the plans that she was there to sell today. So we are definitely not getting any younger, as far as we know. If we just look at things rationally and logically, be able to separate the emotion out of the content of what is said, and think. Use your rational, God-given mind that you're born with. So certainly we're not all getting younger in terms of linear time. Human beings get older in age. That is true. So she's tying in something that is a fact, and she's attaching another piece of information with it to give that credibility and power to the second premise of what she said, which is, and you are not getting any healthier. So really, that is a cheap shot and a low blow to people who may not be sophisticated enough to understand what's happening here. What is happening here is she is instilling fear and anxiety in people to create that sense of urgency. The fact of the matter is, you can be a 50-year-old man who is 10 years older than he was when he was 40, but you also can definitely have improved health and be healthier. So while you are aging and getting older linearly in terms of how you measure time, you can most certainly improve and become healthier, not the other way around. It is different to say that the body developmentally goes through changes as you age, and someday, you know, the body's going to pass on and the body dies. And so, yes, that's something to be said. There are some practical things that should be in place to address those issues. And hopefully people will make decisions based on ration, being reasonable. Look at the practical nature of your situation and make your decisions based on those facts so you get the best situation for yourself when you're out there on the market or somebody's trying to sell you something. Think it through before you make a decision. If you have a sense of urgency that's being created based on the power of emotion and fear, what's going to happen is you're going to have a knee-jerk response. You may get something you don't necessarily need. You might get more of a situation than is necessary for your particular scenario. So think about that for a moment. Be careful. Listen to how people speak. And don't be afraid to ask questions. And so in this situation, like this individual, she said, you're not getting any younger and you are not getting any healthier. Typically people have this conditioned situation where they view circumstances and individuals within the context of situations as authority. And people are afraid to question authority. You've been conditioned that way. Fortunately for myself, especially as I'm getting older, you know, I'll be 48 in a few months. The nature of my personality has always been such that I'm not afraid to say something or question something, and especially more these days. So tactfully, I told this individual, after she had said, and you're not getting any younger or healthier, I politely interrupted her, and I said, excuse me, ma'am, you know, while we certainly are going to get older, we don't live forever, it is false and it is inappropriate to tell us that we are not getting any healthier. In fact, we can become more healthier through changing the way we eat, nutrition, exercise, lifestyle changes, things that will improve our health and our quality of life and definitely help that longevity. And the quality of life by itself is a good reason, you know, for becoming healthier. So logically, if you put the premises in place, I'm not going to go through the whole, you know, logical equations that you can do in terms of making conclusions. Her logic is faulty and false. You know, human beings, while we get older, you know, the premise that we can get healthier despite our age is true, and we are all humans and we're a part of that situation. So the conclusions that are going to be made if you think it through is that you can do something about your health. You can be motivated to do something about your health. These type of statements that she said, you're not getting any younger, you're not getting any healthier, whether you realize it or not, it can be conditioning people to just accept a fatalistic view of themselves within relationship to the world and how they manage their life. And people will just accept that. Oh, you know, I'm not getting any healthier. Thoughts and words are powerful. So when you just by default accept things from people simply because they are in a situation to be viewed from a position of authority, you're vulnerable to that type of conditioning. So stop for a moment. Use the rational mind. Learn how to manage, regulate emotion. So by doing that, you can definitely make better decisions. You know, everyone's situation is different, and there's practical reasons to have the very things that may be marketed to you. But remember, the people who are selling those things to you, their motivation is financial because it's what they do for a living, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that there can be a more honest way to approach marketing and how you sell things to people. So these individuals are very savvy and smart, make no mistake. They get training on marketing and how to create a sense of urgency to expedite or give more power to being able to close a deal. So just be careful in how people speak over you. You ultimately are the decider of what how you're going to view yourself in relationship to this life, this world, how you view your health, how you view your well-being, and how you view your potential. You define that for yourself. Get the things you need. Make based on practical decisions. We all need to do certain things. But that's a much better way to approach it to where you can have a better quality of life in terms of just of mental health, you know, having respect for your, you know, I guess, you know, autonomy in terms of how you're in control of situations versus being influenced, whether it be subconsciously, subliminally, just people using words carefully where they lump in something that is illogical and not true, and they link it to something that is factual to give power to the illogical thing they're pitching at you to get you scared. So real quick, in social psychology, there's what's called the central route to persuasion. Just based on facts and information, you give people information about something, they then make a decision. The problem is with that, if people are being completely rational and logical, they may not necessarily go in the direction you want them to your benefit. Therefore, marketing understands that with people, you want to circumvent or bypass the rational central route of human beings. So you do what is called, or you use what is called the peripheral route to persuasion. The peripheral route does exactly what I was talking about in terms of trying to appeal to emotion, anxiety, and for one example, there's other ways to look at it, but look at a beer commercial. A beer commercial, if they just go on a central route, alcoholism, kills a lot of people. Yeah, alcohol is responsible for a lot of, destruction within people's lives. It can definitely be a drug that is abused in a number of situations. So if they just went based on objective facts about alcohol and beer, and people made decisions on that, they would not sell as much beer perhaps. That's a whole nother conversation as to motivating factors. But beer commercials don't do that. What they do is they show a retired football player on the Miller Lite commercial having a good time at the bar with the good-looking women around him. So the peripheral message is, you drink beer, you're going to be like this guy, you'll be cool, you're going to get all the girls. So that's more of a peripheral appeal. Makes people, oh, that looks really good, that looks cool. Let me make a decision based on that. Or even worse, certain commercials that are going to appeal to your fear. They'll throw facts at you, like for example, well, that's a whole other video. I don't want to get too long on this. It's already about 15 minutes. But just think about that. I hope that helps you today. Maybe inoculate you for when people come at you to sell you something. There's nothing wrong with getting things for practical purposes. We all need life insurance. We all need medical insurance. We all need a lot of different things. But you be in a position to when you make decisions, it's not from fear. It's going to be based on what is rational and what is correct. And there's something to be said about a healthy level of anxiety. Some anxiety is good. It motivates us to do things. But don't let somebody manipulate you emotionally. It's pretty much what I'm saying. So if you have any comments, anything you would like to drop down below, I appreciate it. I'll be making more videos on a number of different topics. There's some political issues I want to speak to on a separate video in terms of this contradictions in terms of people's beliefs in comparison to their source material, which is the basis by which they have their arguments. So leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. I'll be making more videos. Again, my name's James Hunter. I got 20 plus years in mental health, substance use, rehabilitation. I also am a personal trainer with 20 plus years in the fitness industry. So the angle and the perspective in which I approach things tends to be more of a holistic approach, whether it be your physical health, the mental health, how you recover from stress, how you manage stress, how you overcome obstacles, and so on. Thank you for watching this video today. Maybe next time I make another one, I'm going to be in tank tops because, like I said, Texas does its own thing. Take care.